Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Family in Focus with me, Dr. Wendy Schofer. So, I got to tell you, it's that time. It's the holidays. We are getting ready here for Thanksgiving, which means my luggage is packed. The rental car is here and loaded up. And oh gosh, wasn't that a big step? So we have very small cars. I call them clown cars. A Honda Fit. It just kind of fits me in my normal day to day. But when we're taking a family of four grown adults and one of them with a full size set of golf clubs and driving a good 6 hours, we kind of decided that a clown car was not the speed. So thank you, Chrysler Pacifica. We are going in style. But I realize as I'm talking about this that I'm trying to let go a lot of the stress that I really kind of brought on myself more than anything around the holidays. And that's what I actually wanted to talk about today, like really just noticing how parental stress is really off the charts at this time of year in particular. And so we're going to do a quick what and why, and then question the shit out of everything. Like we're just going for it. So let's think about first, like, why are actually, no, let's start. Hold on. What is this stress? What is stress anyway? We talk about it all the time, but what the heck are we talking about? And I think of stress as the way that we experience what's going on the inside, like how it is that we're experiencing our feelings. So, like if you think about the whole saber-toothed tiger and the stress that we get when we've encountered a saber-toothed tiger, stress is our body's way of saying, hey, fear, danger, we got to get out of here. So it's the experience that we have. That stress is good. It gets us out of there. And so the body's response to feeling, that's what we're having here. It's like to that emotion that's trying to tell us something, and then we feel it throughout our bodies. And it's not necessarily the emotion that we're feeling, it is the way that our body is expressing and responding in a physiologic sense. When I say that it's not necessarily the emotion, think about how, there are times that you do want to feel certain ways. So, like, say you want to feel frustrated or tired. Want to, meaning it makes complete sense that I'm frustrated right now. I'm not trying to argue about it. It's not distressing that I feel frustrated. It's like, yeah, of course I do. But there's other times that it can actually feel stressful to have those feelings like frustration or exhaustion because I don't have the time for this right now. And we're fighting what it is that we're feeling. That's when the stress gets turned up really sky high. So I think of stress as being something that can be very helpful in short bursts, but in the longer term, it's more of fighting what it is that our bodies are trying to tell us about what they need and what they experience. And the more that we fight it, the more that the stress gets turned up. And I think that one of the big things that we have to really start with is kind of the acceptance of something right now, the whole given part of it, that like holidays equals stress. Like that's just become a part of our language. It's just kind of going along for the ride. But I think we need to stop there and ask, like, but why are you stressed around the holidays? And, I hear a number of different things, and I invite you to like add on. Let me know, what is it that you're experiencing? But let's look at a couple of these. So, number one, there's so much to do. We are trying to stuff a year's worth of connections and celebrations and meetups within a 6-week period of time. And then let alone there's like all the shopping and Oh, yeah. Sneaking around to do things when others aren't looking or paying attention or when they're not awake, which is putting even more burden on us as parents to, first of all, stay awake longer than kids, to somehow be able to do all of this without them noticing. And all of this burden is placed on us. And yeah, I'm looking specifically in the mirror at each and every one of us moms. Now, I'm not telling you not to do it, but I'm just inviting you to notice, kind of like step back and take a look at all of this swirl from a slight distance. If you were talking to your best friend who was describing all the things that she's taking on in the world right now, trying to juggle all of the events and gift giving and all the secretive things and all the magic in the world, what is it that you would say to her? Who says you have to do all of these things? And what do you want to give yourself permission to skip? All right, number two, it's so hard to stay healthy during the holidays. Oh boy. Isn't it fascinating how everybody has a potluck, a cookie party, some kind of sweet treat, and then it is kind of like um, kind of getting all of the New Year's resolutions kind of tidied up so that we're going to like shift to that shortly thereafter to magically like purge ourselves of all of these things that we think of as sins that we're committing over the holidays. We are in a food environment. We are in an environment where we celebrate with food and it gets turned up big time at the holidays. So I'm going to ask you, instead of just accepting that it's so hard to stay healthy over the holidays, what is it that you're specifically concerned about staying healthy over the holidays? And get really clear about it. Is it, you know what, it's colder than you would like for your usual ways of moving your body? Is it the amount of sweets? Is it maybe concerns about disruption of schedules and menus as you're traveling? And just notice how there is kind of this, I don't know, it's kind of like this feeling of things getting swept away around us during the holidays. Kind of like there's this sense of powerlessness amidst all of the chaos of the holidays. And within that chaos, all of the things that we want to do for our health kind of gets blown aside. What if there is a way to flex your healthy muscles, meaning, okay, the things that you do to take back some power over your health and the power of the decisions that you get to choose, what you get to decide over the holidays? I think that in order to do that, it's something where we get to, really get clear about what is your specific concern. Because when we just say, staying healthy is hard, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. We're just speaking in generalities. So really get clear about what is your concern. Is it how you want to move your body? Is it about the food environment? Get clear about what is your concern and then start chipping away. What is one little step that you can take today? Perhaps one decision that you can make to benefit you, to benefit your health. And just focus on one teeny tiny thing and just knock it out of the park. Like so crazy easy that you're like, dude, that was nothing. And I got to tell you, so often I'm apparently a fair weather mover. I love to move my body, but as soon as it gets cold, I'm like, not today, not today." And so I've noticed that that kind of weighs on me over the holidays when we have more plans, when we're doing more traveling, and I'm thinking that it's got to look just right for me to work out. And so I've started just kind of incorporating something as easy as doing air squats. Air squats, just like going from a stand down into a squatting position and coming right back up again. And it's funny how it actually goes against the whole thing about it's too cold. I get warmed up when I start doing some air squats. And it's something that it just kind of honors how my body wants movement. And I just kind of take it really easy from there. It's nothing big, but I feel better. And I feel like I'm doing something that's helping me in the middle of whatever else is going on. Yes, I'm totally that lady that's doing that at the, what do you call it, the pit stops when we're doing a road trip. And I'm most definitely the one that's doing it in the airline waiting area, waiting for my flight to take off. Yep, now you know who I am. So the number three thing that I hear about, things that are stressful over the holidays is I have to make it magical. Oh man, holy smoke, Santa! The whole like quote unquote magic of Christmas has become the toil of parents. I'm just thinking about all the freaking like Instagram ready, spreads and delights is just nuts. And it's driving parents nuts too. I mean, just even thinking about all of the pressure about that funky, nasty elf on the shelf. Nasty because of all the ridiculous things that come up. And it's like, oh my God, I got to do something like that. Oh man. It's like making it magical for the kids has turned into this pressure filled expectation and kind of comparison party for me. Like, oh gosh, now I got to do it more and better. And, that's what magical looks like now. Maybe it's even like, what is the new latest and greatest toy that everyone has to have? Or while I enjoy them, I'm not dissing on them, but just even think about like the videos that the Holderness family, creates. You know what? They are adorable, but noticing the comparison that's coming up that, oh my gosh, we have to have matching jammies and sing about it too. So I'm noticing that that's what my brain has started thinking of as magical for the holidays. That's not helping me. That's not helping anybody else because that is not my brand of magic. It's not. And the more that I think about that as being some kind of like bar to live up to, the more that I'm like, "Wah, wah, not making it." So I offer it's kind of just asking the question, like, what will make it magical for me? And just sitting with that question, like, what is magical for you? Man. All right. Number four, my whatever, insert the blank, my mother-in-law, my kids, my partner, whomever is so hard to please. So looking into kind of like meeting other people's expectations here. So as an example, my family is now spread out across the country. And of course, everyone wants to be the center of the universe. They all want to be able to host the holidays, have the grandkids, come to see them. And it's really been the hardest thing for me over the years. Um, Mostly because I always try to make it work, try to figure out how to accommodate everybody and, juggling holidays and splitting time. And if I go here, how can I see them and them? Oh my God. I damn near drove myself nuts trying to meet all of other people's expectations for holiday delights and kind of burning myself to a crisp along the way because if you remember, one of my biggest strengths is maximization. Okay. If you give me a puzzle and all the pieces, I'm going to work, work, work until I make it fit. Tetris doesn't stand a chance around me. But the thing is that I will keep on going because I always think that there's a way to make it work. I'm going to maximize the snot out of that. And it drives me crazy. It creates more stress because I'm not acknowledging, what, there's only so much I can do, let alone what is it that I want to do? Hey, we've already asked that question. What would make it magical for me? Oh, that's a question I wish I would have asked in this situation years ago. But, I've started really asking myself now, like, is this something that I even want to do? So, yes, seeing Gigi this Thanksgiving on her terms is exactly what it is that I want to do because I'm honoring, honestly, her age and her health condition. And yeah, it's exactly what it is that I want to do. I want to see her. I want to be able to celebrate in a way that doesn't stress her. Okay. I acknowledge that it is all about Gigi right now. But having to drive multiple states to get there and then drive all over the county to see other able to travel relatives that live nearby, no. Their expectation that I come to them is not something that I can meet. It's not something that I want to do. My meeting their expectation exhausts and stresses me out. More than anything else, it's just because I don't want to. That has nothing to do with them. It's about all the moving pieces. I just don't want to take on more. So it's like the most de stressing thing that I'm experiencing right now is that, wow, when I listen to that one thing, that voice inside of me that says, I don't want to, I'm like letting it turn up louder and louder. I don't want to do it. And then the best part, I'm honoring that voice. I'm honoring it. Like, no, I don't have to do that. Because otherwise, the other side of that is hearing I don't want to, and then turning my stress up sky high when my body says no, and I just fight against it. I'm like, oh, I got to do it. I got to do it. And I'm just fighting what it is that my body's like, listen, this is too much. It's too much. I'm hearing that loud and clear. And having to put down the whole Tetris maximization thing. Just got to set that down to the side. So, number 5 thing that I've noticed, and I got to tell you, I feel like I'm so not alone with this. It's really sensory overload. And oh man, there is a very special place in purgatory for those folks who created the Christmas music soundtracks and holiday scented everything. Bed Bath and Beyond, the Body Works. I mean, these are just places that are now on my no-go list. I've just noticed like this sensitivity to sounds and to smells that, I can work with over the rest of the year, but it is completely overwhelmed between October and January. And so, whew, it it means a lot to just be able to say that out loud. Like, you know what? This is too much for me. It really bothers me. It's overwhelming. And I get to honor my nervous system. I mean, really, these are things that it's just, the hard wiring is just going, whoa, this is too much for me. And we are in an environment now that is just constantly overwhelming our nervous systems. It's like instead of this saber-toothed tiger laying in wait and, ready to jump out and get us, instead, it's pumpkin freaking spice and spicy cinnamon and spiced apple. What's with the spice? Okay. This environment is just overwhelming with all of these aromas. And so I've started asking, like, what is it that I actually need? What does my body need? Whew, my body needs to air out and get away from these areas, to not go there in the first place, to just kind of understand this isn't working for me. And so, what is it that you need? Perhaps it's even offering yourself just a bit of permission to do something. Like I've opted to not be around and definitely to not purchase anything that's smelly. It's that simple. Like, nope, not doing it. I'm actually going to skip the Starbucks throughout the season because I don't want to smell all of the spicy stuff. Now, if it's Indian spicy, I'm bring it on. Like, I totally love it. Now, number six, and this is probably the most common one that I hear about is money. Okay. Money equals stress for the holidays for so many people. And I think it's because the holidays, okay, let's namely call out Christmas here, has turned into a capitalistic extravaganza for retailers and a nightmare for parents. Advertising, social media, kind of like comparisons and the newest, greatest thing, and sales, and that feeling that there's never enough money to go around. And I got to tell you, I mean, that's more than just a feeling that there's never enough money. I mean, there's some truth in there. There's never enough money for all the things that are being put out there and trying to grab our attention and trying to grab our children's attention, especially at this time of year. But the stress, in truth, let's ask ourselves, where does that money stress come from? What do you think would be better if you had the money for whatever it is that you're kind of seeing is lacking right now? Would it be to purchase more stuff? Would it make something better to make others happier with the purchase? Maybe it's not just stuff, but travel or experiences. We live in a society where we think that more is better. And of course, there's an expense attached to that. So, I've started adopting kind of a reframe. And this is one that I offer with my clients and my patients. And I start asking, like, what is it that you want more of? I hear this, like, or I ask this all the time. Like, what is it that you want more of? Consider looking, inwards. What do you want more of for yourself? And as I was kind of like drafting the podcast today, I was thinking, like, how could I make it magical without spending a dime? Wow, that is so exciting to me to think about, like the intangibles. What could make it magical? It would be like creating connection, because it's all about connection for me, connection and warmth and togetherness, not coming together to exchange gifts, but to truly be together, to be groundbreaking to consider in this day and age. And yet it sounds so freeing to me. And freedom is the opposite of stress. I'm going to run with this one. I'm going to keep on asking myself, like, what would make it magical without spending a dime? That's a great question. I'm going to keep on asking myself. In the long run, I'm looking at stress through the lens of first listening to what's happening inside of your body. And yeah, we're so used to just kind of like, I got to push through this. I got to fight against it. I got to like outthink what is going on here. Um, and I fell into that. I mean, previously I thought that feeling bad was something that meant that there was something wrong with me and I just need to fix it. But notice what happens when we think that we just need to fix it. That's when we're trying to fix ourselves to address others' expectations. We're trying to fix people's expectations. We're trying to spend more money for all of the things. We're trying to use willpower to ignore the dessert table. And all these things are just winding up where we're fighting ourselves and really making it so that we're like being responsible for all of the stress of the Christmas season, of all of the holiday seasons. And so you've heard this question coming back, like instead of fixing, just starting to ask, what is it that I want? What do I want? Now that I've heard about that freedom, I want that freedom. I want peace. I want to breathe easier. I want to focus on one thing at a time, which, by the way, is completely the thing that I remind myself anytime I feel that spinning of overwhelm. What is one thing at a time? I want quiet. And I want to feel content, to be content with what I have and where I am right now. That's shifting from all of these external stressors to what it is that I really want, and then to start creating it right here. It's really taking that power back from all of this chaos and lack of control that honestly is at the heart of this stress of the holiday season. All the things that were just like, oh, we're a part of all of this chaos, and start bringing it back to, hold on, where do I have the ability to start making decisions to make this experience my own, something that I will enjoy? So, if you want to build on, I am hosting a How to Survive the Holidays series in early December. So, what we're going to be doing is having small group live coaching sessions where we can connect, wear your jammies, bring along your favorite warm drink, whatever it is that you like. We're just going to connect. We're going to learn together and we're going to apply the tools to your unique family and to really start like understanding so much more about the stress that is in your life and what you can start doing to make changes in your home and start feeling better. So go to the show notes and you're going to find the link to join that series. And I look forward to seeing you then. Much love and happy holidays.